that, hey, I'm gonna figure out every step I need to take, I'm gonna take those steps. You have to actually just know and just do it. Because other people will make plans for you. What's up everyone? Welcome back to my channel. This is Jocelyn here. Today, we're gonna have a little chit chat. We're gonna go ahead and talk about how to take charge, what it means, and the 3 pillars contributing to taking charge. We are literally going to break down the definition. This is a sit down, grab your notebook, and take some notes. Oh, you really thought that I was the shy, quiet teacher, huh? No. I need you to grab a pen and a paper. We're gonna hop right into the definition of take charge. I have notes because I wanna make sure that when I'm talking about taking charge, I'm not missing anything. So I can go on a tangent forever. It's encouraged for you to take notes. Even I'm reading my notes. Now, what's the definition of take charge? It's to assume control or responsibility. So when you think of take charge, in the definition of take charge, what do you see? You see 3 key words that contribute to taking charge. These 3 key words are going to be our pillars that we're going to talk about today. The first one that we see is assume. Assume is to take as granted or true. The second pillar that we see is control. Control is to have power over. And then the third one is responsibility. Responsibility is the quality or state of being, morale, legal, or mental accountability. All right, let's go ahead and talk about how every single pillar contributes to your life, and we'll break down how you can go ahead and take charge in your life coming up right now. Let's start with the first pillar, assume. When we assume something, we have to know that whatever you want, you can achieve it. It's not a, oh, I want to do this, but I don't know if I can do it. No, that's not how you think about it. You have to see it through. You have to know that you have to take all the steps required, and you have to know that you will actually accomplish each and every one of those steps. Assuming is just knowing that it's already gonna happen. That's literally the definition of assume. You can't ponder, you can't think, you can't wonder, you can't dream. You have to actually just know and just do it. Like it's nothing. When you assume something, you know from the bottom of your heart that it's destined to be, that it's already in fruition, that it's happening. And if you don't understand it like that, assuming is kind of like that gut feeling that you have, that inner intuition, or even that third eye. We assume things all of the time, all of the time. For example, so when we get invited to a place where we get an invitation, right? And we look at the location. Let's say it's like 123 Main Street. We know just by looking at that. Your friend's birthday party, for example, is gonna be at 123 Main Street. We just get in our cars, we get dressed, we're already driving, walking, flying, wherever to our destinations all the time because we've seen it. They gave us the invitation, they gave us that exact address. On Google Maps, we just go on Google Maps thinking we're gonna be there. We see the place of the restaurant that we wanna eat at that's downtown, it's got great sushi, for example. We look at it, the images are great, but we see that, so we know what we're looking for when we're driving and taking the directions of Google Maps. So the same thing applies. We assume things all of the time, but we never assume anything about ourselves. If we just knew that what we were gonna accomplish is there, ready to grab, you would be where you wanna be right now. Because you wouldn't have to question yourself like you are right now. We know, if we grab our keys, we're gonna go in our car, it's gonna turn on. Or it's gonna unlock our car because that's our keys, because we just know it. Gotta think about your goals like that. That's how you assume. It's 110% believe it, okay? The next pillar that we have is control. Now we all know that control, we always see, oh, the bad guys taking control, the villains are taking control, they're destroying the city. Yeah, because they have power right now. They have so much power that they can just destroy the city and they can get away with it in that moment. Don't think of it as a bad term. I was just watching some anime, okay? That's the only thing I was thinking about because they were destroying the city. So we see the word power. Power means that you have to be a professional. People have to trust you. And you have to be so good that you can determine the outcome of the situation, alter, fabricate the situation at any time. Meaning you have to be so good at what you do, you alter the situation. You can change the direction of the situation. And in order to have that much control, that much power to get where you want to be, you have to invest time and knowledge to get there. Like wherever you want to be at, you cannot miss a step. It's gonna throw everything off. You have to take all of the steps and you have to go all. Because if you don't go all in, you're missing steps. Or if you half-ass everything, it's gonna be a whole full ass later on. So when you think of a puzzle, you can never finish the puzzle if you're missing a piece. It's gonna throw everything off, especially if the puzzle piece is beautiful, it's a peacock with a bunch of colors, and your freaking couch is all black. Like, you're gonna see that black hole, you're gonna see that missing piece, and the beautiful piece of art, for instance, now ruined. You're not accomplishing every single step, if you're not hitting every single goal that you have, if you're not making sure everything is done and finished before you move on to the next one, either you're not going to accomplish your goal or it's going to bite you twice as hard back in the ass. I know some of these steps are doing things that we don't even want to do, aka sacrifices, but we have to make those. If you just sit around and do nothing, you're literally gonna get nothing. Like, we literally are on someone's time, stay at a place that we sometimes don't even want to stay at for 8, 9, 10, 12 hours a day. Or if you work a super tough job, like you out in the heat, if you're a delivery driver, you're in situations that literally people die from. We don't want to be at our 9 to 5, but we're taking the sacrifices. We're on their time. If we're doing something that we don't want to do and we just do it because somebody tells us to, why can't we tell ourselves to do something, and why don't we go ahead and do it? We don't even realize that we're making these sacrifices already for other people that don't even care about us. I mean, they can just replace us. It's a job. Taking those actions and fulfilling all of those steps 100 to 110% is gonna take a lot of work. It's gonna take a lot of work, and we cannot be afraid of putting in the work, because remember, if we're afraid or we feel like we're not gonna accomplish it in that time and we don't know, you're forgetting the first step, so you can't even complete the second step, which is actually having control. You need to assume. You need to know that you will accomplish everything, you will find a solution and take those steps. Remember, you see how this is coming full circle? As I said, assume is the number one, because if you don't assume that, hey, I'm gonna figure out every step I need to take, I'm gonna take those steps, and you actually knowing that you would pass every single step, you can't even finish controlling the situation. You can't finish having control. So you have to take care of everything 110% with this step as well. You have to have full control. Okay, so let's hop on to the last pillar, being responsible. Being responsible is kind of like reading the room, right? So being responsible is understanding the situation that you're in and knowing what action that you have to take. Being responsible is looking at your left and right shoulder, and you know the bad. You know the outcomes of the situation. You know the decisions that you can make. So you have to get real with yourself. Just like when we start working out, we feel great, right? And we're wanting to go back. Same thing with your goal. When you're actually fully aligned with your vision, when you're all in with your path. Do not work too hard to burn out. Do not push yourself to the extreme. You gotta remember, this is not a sprint. This is a jog. When we look at the most richest people, I'm talking big banks, looking at like Steve Jobs, we're looking at Warren Buffett, we're looking at Jeff Bezos. They were grinding for years. They were working their ass off for years. They were hustling in their college dorms. Like, these dudes were killing it. These dudes were making sure that work was done every single day, whether it was working on their business or working on themselves, taking care of themselves. These people kept working with no results. If you look up every single one of these people, they say every single time that they kept going when there was nothing. They kept working towards their goal because they knew that eventually they would go ahead and figure it out. They analyzed what they were doing. They read the room. They researched their own actions and what they were doing. They took the time to know themselves. You remember how I said that you gotta know yourselves to control? You see how you cannot be responsible without having control? They were coachable to understanding, okay, this is what I have to do instead of this. I'm doing this wrong. I realize that this is not working, but I know there's another method that does. Or, okay, I see that you have to make that decision. You can't let anybody do it else for you as well. Because somebody else controlling your future and telling you what to do is not gonna steer you in the direction of your destiny. It's just gonna throw you out of your path. So remember, you always have the power to do what you want to do. Maybe there are situations that you literally cannot do anything, and I understand that, but you can go ahead and control how you feel and move forward from it, or fix it, or put it back together once the damage is done. Yet when we don't want to do anything, when we don't want to study, when we don't want to go to work, if those are the sacrifices that we have to take at that moment, but we're also working during our own time, our downtime, to do what's most important to us, what really matters, you're still winning. You are still taking control. You are being responsible. So remember, it's always your choice. Don't let your past mistakes, or don't let something that you've done in the moment because if somebody told you to do something in the past, like we go to school because people tell us to, or we follow our parents' careers, or we take over their certain businesses because they tell us to. Don't do that. That's what I'm saying. Don't let other people take control. If it's custom or brainwashed in your mind to be something and you're still feeling like you do really not want to do this, or it's not right for you, I'm speaking to people like you. You need to have a break of that. You need to break free of that because you are not taking responsibility of your life. You are giving the responsibility to somebody else. So just know, having responsibilities, being able to understand your situation and know the outcomes of what you're doing. Understanding what you are doing. Know that, okay, if I do this, then this will happen. Because other people will make plans for you and they will change things for you. They will change your life, your destiny.
Before we end off the video, I just want to mention that taking a jog means that you're still pouring into yourself, but you're allowed to take breaks before you burn out. I know I said a lot in the beginning that these multimillionaires that keep working hard, but while you're working hard, you're also monitoring yourself, knowing your body, and being able to take care of it when you can sense stress to make sure that you're performing 110% like I've been saying.
We went over assume, we went over control, and then we went over lastly responsibility. I don't know if you're like me, but when I was literally explaining every single pillar from first to third, I was like, am I saying the same thing over and over and over again? Yeah, some people have to hear it different times, multiple times in order to understand it. So yes, this talk was a little different. I did go over the full core definition of taking charge or take charge, and we went over the 3 pillars that contribute to the definition of take charge. So now you know, if you can't handle those things, then you cannot handle the desires that lie ahead after you complete those things. If you don't want to do the work, that means you don't really want it. Now you know what to do. I hope this encouraged you guys. It has encouraged me to do even more and more and more. I love talks like this. Go ahead and subscribe if you would like more content like this. Go ahead and leave a comment to anything that really stood out. Well, pretty much that's it. This is Jocelyn. Don't forget to subscribe. This is the channel where I do anything and everything until I find my niche, by the way. I'm out. Peace.